How's it going, everybody? Thanks for watching. It's Friday morning here today. Going to work at getting the rubber installed in the flooring here. These are quite large rolls, so it takes screwing around, messing around to get them in place exactly. And it's a little bit of a challenge because this gutter that runs through here, I don't know if you guys remember, but it's not laying parallel with this connecting alley. It's laying at an angle going into our heifer barn to match up inside that heifer barn. So there's going to be some strips like this where we'll have to kind of see how we're going to do it. I think we might just cut it right here where we can still get a good anchor in here, because trying to get this anchor down is not going to work. I don't know how many of these we'll have, because here it's 2 large pieces and it'll be 2 large pieces all the way through on this side. I think in theory actually we shouldn't have any more of these small pieces unless there's one maybe right down near the end. But Monday they're coming to lay the chain in this gutter, which will be nice because at the moment we're pushing the manure out of the pen and then into our manure reception pit, which takes quite some time. So Monday morning we'll have to pull these grates out, I mean clean the gutter out. And I told those guys that are coming we need this operational or at least closed up by 5 p.m. Monday, so hopefully they can make some quick work of laying this chain in here. In theory, if we have it clean, it shouldn't be too bad. It's just a matter of laying the chain out, 2 sprockets on either end, and then the drive unit sits up above, so they can tie that in and work on that afterwards. The only other thing they do have to do is put a rail in where the chain rides on the return side. But we'll have to see how that goes on Monday. It'll be nice to get this operational because it's been quite a pain in the butt doing it how we have been doing it. We did start putting sand in the beds in our heifer barn because I knew they'd be coming soon to install that chain, and we haven't had manure solids bedding here in a while, so the beds were getting quite low. So it'll be nice once we get sand in there all the time. Be good for the heifers, I think. Still have a few small things to do on the building here, so we have to get the last pieces on the door. The door was off 3 inches one way, so we have to re-drill holes and cut some of those pieces. Same on this side. I think this side was off 6 inches or something. And then there was a few pieces that got left at the galvanizing place, so there is an overhang. So each one of these poles will have an overhang, and we can't finish because then there'll be another piece between the overhangs. We can't finish that until those overhangs are here, which are supposed to be coming today at 4 o'clock. So I'm hoping this weekend we can work on this some more, and I haven't heard when the roof tin is coming yet. But hopefully next week sometime would be nice, because it looks like the next week is going to be decent yet, but 10-14 day forecast looks like it starts to get quite cold after that. So it'd be nice if we could get this closed up by then, but we'll see how it goes. I'll show you guys here on these posts, because this rubber is quite thick. Trying to get cut around the post, try to make it look somewhat nice, and I'm actually surprised we were able to get this cut as nice as we did. Same on this side. We have this rubber from the same company, 40 Ag, in our holding area, and when we had that installed, and when they did that, they were using cutoff wheels, and we kind of thought like a Sawzall blade, if you can keep that rubber tight, that Sawzall blade works really nice, and you don't have anywhere near the smoke from burnt rubber. So that's how we cut these posts out, and that works pretty good as long as you can keep that rubber from vibrating. We do have a little bit to trim off here. Looks like it's pretty good here up until about here. I mean, to trim a little bit off this edge here because it's supposed to sit inside that metal. Next day here in our heifer barn. Sam's putting sand in the pens here. So these are the pens where we used to bed with separated manure solids. Now started bedding with sand here about a week ago. And as you can tell, the beds are a little bit on the low side. So that's kind of by design, but also kind of just the way it had to happen. So we wanted to let the beds get kind of low to get as much of the manure solids out as possible. So we were raking quite often to loosen it all up, and the heifers essentially took most of it out for us. And then we started bedding with sand last week, knowing that this coming week here, that chain was going to be installed in that gutter, so we weren't wasting a bunch of sand. So now knowing that Monday, it's Saturday today, that Monday that chain will be installed, we're starting to fill these beds up to where they should be. And what I was doing this morning here, I wanted to look at the sand in the beds for one, but we had, I don't know how well you guys can see, it's gonna dark out still, but we had installed this wood here to keep the sand in this single row, to keep the sand from falling out into the alley. But I want to add some brackets in there. So I was going through and marking about 25 extra spots where I want to have the guys add some more brackets to that wood. So we're anchor bolting an angle bracket into the concrete and then bolting it to that 2x6 to help keep some of the sand in those beds and to prevent some of that sand from being pushed out the front. We got the rubber done on one side of that gutter. We've got the small side left here today. Should get that done today. And we should have all the rubber done. That'd be nice having that project done. And then then we've got a little work left to do on the connecting alley that we can do before the tin gets here. Probably work on that later today or tomorrow. I did order a side shooter bucket for sand. The one we had for manure solids is not going to work for sand because sand's quite a bit heavier. That is in at the dealer, just needs to be picked up, but for now we're just using a bucket to put the sand in, and then we'll come by with a rake and level it off. But I think I'll end the video here. Appreciate you guys watching. If you have any questions, comments, post them down below. And hopefully we'll see you in the next video.